What's up, everybody? My name is Ahmed Kenyatta Dents. This is Ahmed's Voice. Thank you so much for joining me. Whether you are listening or watching, it is all good. Thank you for being here. Want to make sure you head on over to my website at ahmedsvoice.com. That is the hub for everything I do. You can check out all my blog posts, get links to all of my podcast episodes, and also follow me on social media. I post things on different places, but that's the hub, ahmedsvoice.com. I greatly appreciate it. And while you're there, sign up, subscribe. You'll always get notified of a new blog post. I'm going to start sending out the newsletter every week. And subscribe. And also, if you have a message you want to send me or anything you want to check out or want me to check out, just let me know at ahmedsvoice.com. This is Ahmed's Voice, Life, Arts, and Media, where those are the things that we primarily talk about, but those things seem to cover everything we need to these days, right? Today, we're going to get into a little bit of part of what I do and what I've done for a greater part of over 20 years in the arts. I mainly work in ticketing system administration. And, the thing I just want to just put out a short video today to talk about that. And basically the, solidified position that I have that I just feel is true is that ticketing is tech, right? Like everything else in this world, ticketing is tech. Everything is becoming tech. And, think about it. If you think about Uber Eats, Lyft, these are not brick and mortar companies. These are tech companies. They are tech companies that have developed software that enable an end user to use themselves, their own resources, their own vehicles to provide a service to you and me. So these are tech companies. Everything is tech, and ticketing is definitely tech. Gone are the days. In fact, let me ask you a question. The last time you went to a movie, when was the last time you actually had a ticket in your hand? You most likely had a mobile ticket on your phone. The whole process did not cause you to have to print everything. I understand people still don't like printing, but what I'm saying is the industry is geared to where you don't have to print everything. Everything, as I said years ago, people looked at me crazy, like 12, 15 years ago, that, the main phrase was mobile first, right? That everything's going mobile first. And now wherever we at, we can watch full movies, we live most of our lives, pay our bills, do our shopping, charge, credit, debit, whatever, on our phones, right? And so, everything is tech, and that's the same way with ticketing, especially in the performing arts and in the greater, the greater artistic world, not just the performing arts and nonprofit world, but everywhere, sporting events, everything is tech. Everything is ticketing first. In fact, I had to unwrap some toys today, doing some upgrades here at Mainly Mozart, just getting some new devices in to be able to scan tickets out to the various venues that we use. And then also we use Patron Manager, and Leap Technology has now taken over Patron Manager, and they are doing an upgrade with Leap Merchant Services as far as dealing with payment processing. So I got some new devices in there going on with what we do. And we don't have to use these crazy archaic terminals at our desk anymore. We can actually step into the 21st century and do ticket processing, keyboard operating wherever we're at. It's a whole long story. But so everything is tech, right? Everything is moving, has moved to online purchases. Some places don't even take cash anymore. And, if you're an arts organization and you're doing shows and you want to keep track of people who are coming to your shows, having an accountable, having a very dependable CRM that fits your needs is very important. Not only having the CRM, but you have to have the people to run it. Now, you can be a very small organization and think you're going to get away for a while with just still, I don't know, printing tickets, clicking people off, marking people off on a sheet at the door. You can do that if, you don't need the overhead. But if you're an organization that's trying to put on multiple performances a year, and you're trying to sell thousands of seats a year, and you're trying to make, tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars of income, and you're trying to rake in as many donations as you can, then you need a CRM or a database that can keep track of all those donations, keep track of the trends, keep track of who's giving, when, what, at what time, for what performances, keep track of your demographics, who's coming to your performances, what time are they getting there, how are they walking in, which performances sell more, what hours do they sell better, What is your, what is your return on investment on your marketing? You can only do that on a large scale if you have dependable technology these days. Um, it's just going to take too long to do everything the old style, to do everything by hand, to try to check everything. You can't do it. You got to have dependable technology. People are depending on you to have technology. People don't want to print tickets anymore. I'm not printing anything. When I go someplace, I want to pull up my phone, pull up my ticket. If it's not in my wallet, then if it's not in my digital wallet on my iPhone, maybe you have an Android device. If it's not on my wallet on my phone, then I better be able to pull it on my email, let somebody scan my QR code and get me into whatever it is I'm about to do. And most people have made that change and are good going that way. Even if they can't print it, they don't want to have it in their wallet. They at least want to be able to pull it up on their email and be able to have it scanned when they get to the door. And that is what people expect. That's what patrons expect now. They don't want to have to print anything. No one has time. They don't want to print anything in the office. They don't want to print anything at home. You got to go. You got to pick up your dates. You got to pick up the kids. You got to get the family together. You got to get out. You got to get where you're going. It's one less hassle if you can just have what you need on your phone and know that when you go, there's a up-to-date, technologically advanced staff and courteous staff that's going to be able to check you into the door. My philosophy is I want people to forget me. I want them to be able to seamlessly get online, get their ticket, get to the door, get scanned in, go enjoy their show. And they forgot all about the box office people unless they have a glorious report of customer service for us. Other than that, just want them to get their tickets and get to the show. And with that, everything is tech. I just spent a week in Vegas at the Leap Event Technology Patron Manager Community Meeting. It is the first time I've been at a ticketing or CRM database conference in a long time. So it really felt good to get back with like-minded people. If you have people who really work professionally in ticketing, who have been doing it for years and work at large venues or arts organizations, we are a peculiar type of people. We speak in terms of building because when it comes to pricing, it looks easy that you just might look online and see a stream of prices somewhere, but these price structures have to be built. And so we do talk in terms of building. We do talk in terms of construction. When we're talking about laying out not only pricing for a single show, but for a whole season. And then if you are not only a box office manager or a ticketing person, but you've also had the other side of that. You've also been the IT manager. You've been the CRM administrator. You've actually had to be the administrator for the system and for all the users in that system. And then you add on top of that, maybe you have to be that for the whole office or for the whole company. We become very particular because usually when it comes to putting shows on sale, we are usually the last people to get all the information that needs. Of course, it's going to start from an artistic endeavor, and then it's going to go through administration. And then once prices get decided and all this stuff and whatever, it gets to us. And we're the ones who have to take everything that everybody else has, take those prices, put them someplace in a system to where they can be scalable, to where they match the inventory that we have according to whatever venue that we're using, whether it's a venue in our own house or we're contracting someone else's venue. We only have so many seats to work with. So we need to be able to scale all of those different price types, of course, the accessible seating. And then we have to be able to allow for how many comps, how many VIPs are going to be coming to this performance. And whoever's decision, whether it's the CEO or the artistic director or the executive director or the fund development department, who's going to say who are all these VIPs, we have to be the ones to be like, hey, this is the inventory we have. We need to figure this out. How many? What are we looking to? How much money are we trying to make? And is this performance for the sake of just making a lot of money? Are we just trying to get butts and seats? Do we just need important people to be here? From a ticketing perspective, these are all finite things. They cannot just be adjusted. Like we know we have a finite amount of seats. And we have to make sure that all these things are accessible online. We need to make sure that all the correct information is online. If people go to a website, that the information is correct, that they are paying the correct price. If they are paying a discount, that discount works correctly, and all the things behind the scenes that trigger off a discount. It's a very, very technical aspect to ticketing these days. And a lot of people don't realize that. And sometimes a lot of people in this industry don't realize that. Again, if you are, a development coordinator and you have to work, usually you're going to be some type of administrator in the system because you have to clock donations and you have to make sure they're going to the right campaigns. And those might be assigned to acknowledgement letters that might be done by hand or they might go out automatically. This is all just, shop talk, mostly for people who work in ticketing. And I think people who work in ticketing don't have, uh, in the arts, I don't think we have a good sounding board like most other people do. It's a very integral part that we have in this industry. And again, if you are a box office manager or you're a systems administrator or you're a CRM administrator, that takes even more. That means you're checking the website. You got to make sure everything is right. Our lives are just full of fields, data fields, text fields that only can take certain type of limits, rules that only fire this way. And it depends on what CRM you work in. Are you working in Donor Perfect? Are you working in Testatura? Are you working in Patron Manager? Are you working whatever, and then also even very smaller events, even smaller events. Now there are just all types of offshoots of smaller ticketing companies. There's TicketButt, there's Ticket Tailor, there's Eventbrite. There are all these other smaller, which may seem easier, and they are. A lot of smaller ticketing on online cloud platforms are easier to use, and you can use it for your event. But again, if you're a bigger organization, you have to start weighing because you need a database. You need to be able to renew. Maybe you have a season of shows that you're going to renew every year where you have to have a database that's going to be reliable enough to keep all those people. And then maybe you want to roll over subscriptions to the next season. So you have to make a decision on what type of system you need. And these days, it's not a long work to just have a system and just plug somebody in and use it. These systems are complicated, and you need an administrator and you need someone who's geared towards that. And most ticketing people in CRM, we're geared towards that. Again, I would like to say, in the performing art, especially in the theater world, it's full of geeks and nerds. But I think the ticketing administrators and development administrators, we are the geeks and nerds amongst the geeks and nerds, because no matter what our artistic flair, our artistic flavor is, or how much we love to be art, whatever the word, whimsical and artsy and all that, at the end of the day, we have a very technical job and we have a database that needs to be worked on, that needs to be taken care of. And all of those ideas that everybody has, all of the great fundraising ideas and all of the galas and all of the great shows and all of the runs, at the end of the day, they have to come down. Has to come down to really X's and O's, for lack of a better terms. X's and O's, ones and zeros, limited fields, limited capacity, limited inventory. And we have to be able to manage that. We have to be able to manage the CEOs and the executive directors and the fund development directors and the artistic types. And then we also have to be able to manage the patrons, those who are just coming to the theater for the first time, those who are invested stakeholders, those who are donors, those who are board members. We have to be able to walk all those fine lines, and we need to go up that scale and down that scale to be able to communicate effectively. And man, that gets crazy at times. This is what we do. So the next time you're out on the town and you're going to a concert or you're going to a play, you're going to the symphony, you're going to the opera, I don't know, wherever you're going, just know that those people who checked you in at the door, the house staff, the house manager, along with the ticketing staff, they've had to do a lot of work to make sure that you can get in to the door safely, enjoy your show, get out, get back home, make sure you have all the information you need. And, if you go to a show and at the end of the show, when you leave, you look at your inbox that night or the next day, and you have an email that's asking you about your experience at the show, what you thought of the show, take a minute and fill it out. It's going to help your experience the next time you go, because we are really looking at those as a whole organization to see how we can make your night better. How can we make the purchase path better? How can we make getting you from your home to dinner to your show better? How can we get you out of the theater or the venue in a better and safer way? So please take a minute, fill those things out. Again, I appreciate you spending some time with me talking about the nerdy ticketing talk. We'll be back next time. Got some stuff to talk to you about. I'm going to actually next time share a story with you from the early 90s, a story concerning Mike Tyson and the late, great Shelly Garrett. I'll talk to you about that soon. Again, I'll talk to you later. Peace. It's Ahmed's Voice, ahmedsvoice.com. Talk to you soon.